So, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Yes She Can Project podcast. So excited! Oh no, I can't even tell you. Um, Alyssa, for anyone who doesn't know, can you tell us kind of about the Funny Mummy, how it came about, and really who you are, please?
Well, thanks. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Michelle. I love this podcast. I think it's just so fab.
Thank you.
Women just talking about like fab things we do and trying to empower other women. So I am an actress and a comedian. I have been doing it for like a million years, but I started off doing character comedy because that was the closest to acting. And I thought, well, if I'm gonna be brave and do stand up, I'll do it as a character because that's kind of like a bit of a mask
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so my character that I used to do all the time was Ariadne, the Greek wag. So she's a footballer's wife, very glamorous. I ended up doing her in the best, comedy clubs around, the UK. I was in a West End show as her. She was totally over the top, totally ridiculous, and great fun. And I actually missed doing her. She was brilliant. But it was a sort of a kind of moment in time. And then when I set up Bring Your Own Baby Comedy with my friend Carly, we were kind of doing comedy shows for mums, and I was doing this really like glamorous, not maternal at all character. And I thought, well, I have just become a mum, and it would be good if I talked to these women about what I've been going through. But I was so nervous to do comedy as myself.
Oh,
But I thought, let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. So I did. And actually, that's how the Funny Mummy came about because I loved it. I was terrified, but I loved it. And I love kind of connecting with the mums and sharing stuff that I was going through that made me feel a bit better that they were going through the same thing and we were all laughing about it. So that's really where it started. And then I've started just carried on doing it ever since, really, in my own shows and online and stuff. So
bless you. Well, I think that's probably the same thing for a lot of actresses specifically, because I think maybe like confidence and stuff, it's easier to kind of hide behind a character. Did you
yeah.
find that once you started to be yourself, it started to become easier, maybe with the feedback that you were getting?
Definitely it got easier. I really struggled at first because coming from doing a character, there was nothing about my real life that I was talking about as Ariadne. So
Okay.
I could just go for it. But whereas when I was sort of doing it as me, I was like, well, how much do I say? Does it all have to be true? I had to sort of realize that it's not like, a documentary or something. You can, make jokes about stuff and be over the top about things. So it's just finding your way with it. And you still kind of have a bit of a stage persona.
Yeah.
So it was navigating that and yeah, just the nerves that just talking about things that had actually happened to me, and wondering if anyone was going to find them funny. But then when they
Oh,
do, it was just lovely.
oh,
So yeah, it was, and I agree. I think a lot of people who are actresses as well kind of if they go into comedy, definitely feels more comfortable to be a character at first. But
yeah.
yeah, got there in the end.
Oh, bless you. So you focus a lot like with your like sketches, and a lot of your work is specifically kind of motherhood, woman in her 40s. What's one thing that you wish that somebody had warned you about for those two things?
My goodness. Well, Michelle. So motherhood, let me think. So motherhood, when you first become a mum, I just feel like there's so much noise and so much advice from everybody, and you're so vulnerable and it's new and you're really nervous and you really want to do the best, for your baby, and you're worried you're getting it wrong. So you put a huge amount of pressure on yourself. And especially I think I was in, like an NCT group, and
Yeah.
also I had sort of, you have your midwives that come and see you and stuff. And it was all very well intentioned, but it was a lot of, breastfeeding and, don't do this, don't co-sleep, don't,
Yeah.
don't, when Lola started on eating, it was all do baby led weaning and don't do that. And it was just, and actually what I would love to say to new mums and what I've learned along the way is you've just got to do it your way and what feels good for you. And what is there's sometimes I sort of sacrifice my own mental health to try and do it right,
Yeah,
whether it was the breastfeeding, expressing, or the feeding, or whatever it was, because I was like, oh god, no, but I've got to do this because they say that's the best thing to do. But what it ended up with was actually me being really stressed and miserable, and that's not good for your baby or for the bond between you or just for your life because you're just,
definitely.
so stressed. So that's what I think the advice is to really, my advice is not to listen to advice,
Yeah,
but
I,
what's
I love that, definitely.
and just everyone's got an opinion. Everyone thinks, this is best or that is best, but whatever feels the best for you, I think would be something that I would say to do.
Absolutely. And I think things have changed as well. So I had my eldest daughter, she's 21 now. I had her when I was 18. And there
Mm.
wasn't really much. I mean, there was internet, obviously, it wasn't the dark ages, but there wasn't, I didn't have Instagram, I didn't have Facebook, anything like that. And I feel
Mm,
like
mm,
the amount of extra pressure that I would have
mm.
felt, because I felt pressure anyway, like you say, with being
Yeah,
told to do one thing and another from
yeah,
either other mums or midwives, but to have the extra pressure of social media that new mums have now, and the stuff that they're consuming, seeing people like online with, just getting the baby and they look completely glam from head to toe, their house is perfect. I can't
yeah,
imagine how difficult that is.
yeah. And they're always white, those people's houses as well. Everything's
Oh,
white. And I'm like, what? How?
what happens when
How?
your baby shit up his bag and you have to change
Exactly.
it?
Where's all the poo? Where's like the tomato sauce that's just all over the cupboards? And it's just,
Exactly.
yeah, why are they white?
It's mad, isn't it?
I know, you're right. And it wasn't as much when Lola was, because Lola's 10. I don't remember being online as much then
Okay.
either as well. And it's just got more and more, I think. But
Yeah.
and there is that kind of, wow, oh God, they look like they're doing really well and they look
Yeah.
so happy. They look so happy. It's always that, I think, as well. And it's like,
Mhm.
why am I not happy all the time? Why am I not skipping
Exactly.
around the park with my baby, feeling the joys and,
Yeah.
listening to the birds? But it's not all happy and it's not all white,
It's
cupboards
not.
and perfect. So I think it's amazing the way that you went through that without all of that kind of extra noise. It's that
Yeah.
it's another layer, isn't it, of
Yeah.
um,
Definitely.
pressure.
I think I was really lucky, to be fair. And
Yeah.
I think also when it comes to, I think being female as well, like looking at other women like getting their figures back straight away and they're like jogging around the park and it's like you're sat there in like your scruffs, like covered in stuff, haven't
Yeah,
slept for
yeah,
about three
yeah,
years, and it
yeah,
just makes you feel crap, doesn't it?
yeah. It does, absolutely. I saw a great post the other day of someone saying, "Oh, I've just got back to my pre-baby weight," but what it was the weight that she was lifting. Like
Oh
she was
yeah.
back to lifting her pre-baby weight, like so
Yeah,
she got herself strong again. And I was like, that's a good weight. That's good. So
exactly.
they're talking about that, getting yourself strong, whatever it is, or feeling back to my pre-baby self or my pre-baby hobbies or my pre-baby, I don't know, like just feeling a bit more like yourself again should be what we should be aiming for, not trying to get our figures back to
Yeah,
any, because also your body changes completely
it does.
and there's no going back to how it was before, and that's okay. We've been through a huge thing with our bodies, and it's so lovely to appreciate them rather than think, oh, I've got to get rid of this. I've got to get rid of, all of, this extra weight or whatever it is, or squidginess or softness. I mean, Lola loves my squidgy belly. She said to me once that my belly's so squidgy, I should go on Britain's Got Talent. So that's nice.
Oh, bless her. So, Alyssa, you've toured like with your one woman show. But can you remember like a particular moment where like you were maybe stood on the stage or where you just thought to yourself, do you know what? This is exactly where I'm meant to be.
Yeah, I do actually. That's such a lovely question. And I mean, it's such a dream. I love doing the show. It's like my favorite thing to do. I'm finishing the tour soon because I've been touring this particular show for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
And I've loved it. So I've got to write a new one really, Michelle. So I need to do that.
Yes.
But when I first started the tour, I was so excited to be there anyway. So I was like, but it was this gig and it was really out in the middle of nowhere. It was in the Cotswolds. randomly my dressing room was like an old train carriage that was outside the venue and it was freezing. So I was in there sort of getting changed. And also, really randomly, the ushers, I think they kept some of the drinks in the carriages. So they were just wandering through while I was getting changed. So not glamorous,
Quality.
Rochelle, is what I'm saying. Not glamorous. But then I was up in this sort of office. It wasn't even like a backstage area, looking down, and there was about 140 people there that
Oh,
had all bought tickets to see me, and I
oh,
could not get my head around it. And they were all looked so excited, and they were all getting their seats, and they were with their mum mates, and I just
oh,
went, oh my god. This is exactly where I want to be. I don't want to be anywhere else. I can't wait to go out there and do. I was nervous, but I also just couldn't wait to get out there. And I thought, wow, this is so where I want to be and where what I'm supposed to be
oh,
doing.
bless
Yeah, I
you.
can remember that feeling really, really clearly.
Oh, and then that kind of spurs you on, I bet, as well.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. And honestly, once I get on stage, once I get going, I just love it. I really do. It's always a bit nervous before I get on, but once I start, especially with this show, I think more than any of my, because I've done three Edinburgh shows before, years ago when they were all characters, and I loved doing them. They were great fun. But there's something about doing this as me about parenting for mums in the audience. It's just, yeah, it's so fab. It's just so fab. It really, it makes me feel really good. And like I said, like not like I'm not on my own for the stuff I went through as
oh,
well, and
yeah.
laughing about stuff together. And it does the same, I think, for the people in the audience. So it's just a great time. I love it.
Oh, and I bet it's been quite liberating for you to be able to kind of share your truth in a way.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And just to know that I can do that, like actually get up on stage by myself and write jokes,
As yourself
because
as
as
well.
myself,
Hmm.
and because when you're writing jokes, it's I'm just here on my own, just writing. I think, oh, that's funny. But I thought, oh, I might be the only one that thinks that's funny. And sometimes I am, to be fair.
Oh
They don't all,
no.
that has happened before when there's been like, oh, okay, it's just me laughing at this. So that doesn't make the show. But when someone else laughs at something you've written that you find funny too, it's like, oh, brilliant.
Oh.
It's great. It's great. It's very validating.
I've always wondered like how, so when you write the jokes, like how do you
Mm.
test them so that obviously you don't put yourself out there in front of like a big crowd?
A very good question. I mean, you kind of have to do that a bit. I did some trial shows, like work in progress shows, but I'm quite a perfectionist. So even those were quite kind of polished ish. But again, I hadn't done some of the jokes in front of anyone before. So you just hope.
Yeah.
But because I was running Bring Your Own Baby comedy with Carly before I did my full one woman show,
Yeah.
I was testing my jokes out in those gigs,
Okay.
in front of parents. But again, there's still the first time you ever do a joke and you have no idea if
Oh
it's
my
going to
God, I
go
can
down
feel
well.
the pressure right now. You're
It's
not
really,
even doing it.
it's scary, yeah. And sometimes you're like, right, and you literally got your notepad off stage, and you're like, line through that one. Nobody
Oh my
laughed,
God.
but it's a rule of three. Me and Carly used to talk about this. You've got to try it in front of three different audiences, the
Yeah.
same joke, because one joke could absolutely bomb, but it could be the audience because everyone finds
Yes.
different things funny, don't they?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
um, the same joke could go down really well, with another audience. I mean,
Yeah.
I did this show, and this wasn't because I've got a bit spoilt now, you see, because I've been doing my
Mm.
shows to people who buy tickets for my shows,
Yeah.
and it's called The Funny Mummy, so they're generally my lovely mum kind of
Yeah.
audiences. But I did a normal gig a while ago, where we were just like I wasn't the main event. Like there were other comedians
How
on the
rude.
bill.
How
I
could
mean,
you
I
not
know,
be?
outrageous to be honest with you, Michelle. Um, but it was just like a normal audience who just come along to watch a comedy night, and I was one of the acts, and they just could not stand me. And I'd gone from doing my show where everyone was laughing, and these people just looked like they wanted to kill me.
Oh my
And there was
God.
this woman at the front who was quite old, and she was just sort of scowling yelling at me. And it was 20 minutes of silence. And I was putting in all my best jokes, tried and tested,
Oh
really
no.
going for it. I was singing my little songs. I do my parody songs. Nothing. Nothing.
Oh
Um,
God.
And yeah, so it was painful. So it happens, it happens. It can be one crowd to another. So you've got to try it with a few different crowds to see if it's any good.
How did you recover from that? I think I'd have just cried and ran away.
I think I did have a cry afterwards, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, and I usually do. I mean, but because I've done Edinburgh as I mentioned, and Edinburgh is like the toughest thing, I think, because I mean, you do it for a month. So over that month, I mean, one of my shows, I think my first one night I had two people in the audience. One was asleep. So
my God. That's so sad.
it was awful. The worst one, oh my goodness, was in my third Edinburgh show. I'd done this sort of pick of the fringe show like earlier that week, but it happened to be that a lot of older people had been to that pick of the fringe and they'd liked me, but I'd only done a little clip of my show then, Michelle, and it hadn't really shown how rude my show was, right? So when it came to doing my actual show, one night I found out that I was sold out. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Oh,
But it was all the people that see me at the pick of the fringe, average age 80 plus.
oh God.
There was a woman in the front row who was on a drip, one of those
Oh my
IV
God.
drips, right? So, and my show was quite rude. It was basically silence apart from a couple of times where there were gasps and someone put their head in their hands. So I was like editing my show as I was going on, thinking, oh my God, I can't say this, I can't say this to these
Oh,
people. And also the show ended with a big Greek dance because I was doing Ariadne at the time, and half the audience weren't able to actually stand and join in because they were very much on the elderly side. So an absolute disaster. I was actually crying in between my characters when I was changing in between. Then
oh.
I come out like, it was painful. I think
Oh,
after that Edinburgh, it took me a long time to get back on stage again. That was brutal. Yeah.
wow.
So I'm quite proud of myself that I have got back on stage after all these
Resilient for
things.
sure.
After all these things. I don't know why, to be honest. I think I should have just stayed off of it because it is brutal out there sometimes. But
Oh my
but
God.
yeah.
Like I can feel the pain of that. It must have been
Yeah, it was
horrific.
painful. That was painful, definitely. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
brutal.
So your sketches, Alyssa, they like they go viral all the time. Is
Mm.
there any like particular one that surprised you about how popular it was?
Oh, I mean, it's so exciting, but it's always the ones that you have no idea because it's such a weird place, Instagram and just the social media generally.
Yeah.
The first one that went bananas viral was when I got out of the car. I was doing one about getting out of the car with your child. So it was Lola, my daughter, getting out of the car with one Stanley Cup and
I'm
then me getting out
serious.
of the car with all the stuff in the world and like just falling to the floor like a sort of pack horse. And it's had like 7 million views and it's gone bananas. And it was, yeah, I was completely shocked because there's been other ones where I've done loads of characters, like wigs, like changes, and that's got like
Oh
nothing.
no.
Um, but so you just don't know. But I think it's just so fun when it does. And I love it when, like recently, my Gangsters Paradise parody of my WhatsApp group song
Yeah.
about the class WhatsApp group has gone viral. And that I love because it was a music video. We really put a lot into filming that, and it was so fun. So I'm really excited that people like that
Yeah.
because class WhatsApp groups are madness. So I'm glad that other people find that too.
Oh. And the effort was worth it as
And the
well.
effort, finally, the effort was worth it.
So you're so like refreshingly honest, Alyssa, about mental health and ADHD. Was there a point for you where you thought to yourself, well, I can integrate the two, like talk about it in my comedy as well? Not my comedy, obviously your comedy, I mean.
Well, you're more than welcome to. It'd be
A double
great.
act.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wasn't sharing about my mental health and ADHD, although ADHD is kind of recent-ish. I suppose I got diagnosed a year ago,
Okay.
and I've just been getting my head around it, really, to be honest, because I didn't know. I didn't know that I had ADHD, and I didn't even think about it until a friend of mine who has ADHD was like, "Oh, obviously you've got it." I was like, what? Then she started bombarding me with videos of things that people with, especially women with ADHD, do.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. So that was that kind of journey that I'm still on, really, because yeah, it's quite eye-opening. But what I was doing before I started posting about ADHD and mental health and stuff was posting, doing some funny stuff, and then when I'd hit some, feeling down or overwhelmed, I just wouldn't post, and there'd be gaps for days, and then I realized that that was kind of not really being very honest, and I was doing that thing of just doing like a highlight reel on Instagram, really,
Yeah.
of how sort of life was. So I thought it was quite a scary decision to be that vulnerable on there.
Yeah.
And I still do get scared. Sometimes I'll post something and I'll call my sister and be like, I just overshared on
Oh,
Instagram. And so I have to just calm myself down after doing it. But I think it's really important. And actually, I do get lovely reactions to my comedy, which is gorgeous, but I also get lovely reactions to some of my kind of really quite raw and vulnerable posts about mental health and stuff that I go through. And I really appreciate that. And I like that people are finding some kind of comfort in it, that I maybe go through stuff that they go through as well.
mhm.
Um but with finding the comedy in it, absolutely. I mean, I love a dark comedy anyway. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes, if we can have a laugh, maybe as well as a cry, it just helps us get through,
Totally.
whatever helps you to feel a little bit better. And, comedy can connect people, I think, really well. So
Yeah.
it does do that as well. And you can find some sort of shared humor in the madness of it all.
Definitely. And it kind of bridges that gap as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It helps you to be able to laugh at the sad times so that
Yes.
you're able to cope with them. Because I think I would imagine you, obviously being a comedian, you probably use humor a lot and maybe have done in the past to kind of potentially mask the way that you've been feeling
Mm.
in some situations.
Oh yeah, definitely. And realizing that I have ADHD, I'm like, oh, because I look back and at school I was always masking and being like the class clown and
Yeah.
making jokes and making everyone think I was fine and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So it definitely shaped me into being a comedian. And now knowing that, it's just really, really interesting. But often, though, I do laugh at myself a lot. And I do think it's important to have a good sense of humor about yourself because otherwise, you just take yourself too seriously, don't you? So I think it's really important. And, some of the stuff I look back and laugh at. I mean, I make jokes in my show about when we were in hospital with Lola for the first week of her life when she had jaundice. And
Oh.
obviously, it was not funny at the time at all. But there were moments like when, you become a mum, I didn't realize that your body sort of becomes public property. So I make
Yeah.
these jokes about these women just sort of all of queuing up to just grab my boobs and show me how to latch. I'm like, "Ah, excuse me." And then it's like, oh, hello, there's Tony who works in the gift shop. He wants to have a go as well. And it's like, what? just who? It was like a free for all. And so there's moments that even in that kind of stuff going on, you can still laugh about, which does help. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Is was there a point for you, like specifically? I know you said that you had the conversation with your friend, but did it make things make sense for you? Were you maybe struggling at the time and then the diagnosis helped you get over that? Or was it just one of those things that you just needed to find out?
Well, once she said, I think you might have it, I deep dived. Well, I say deep dived. I did a lot of TikTok watching and
Yeah.
Instagram. So not like intellectual deep dive. Like
Okay.
I didn't read books, basically. I watched a lot of videos. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it made me initially feel quite sad because I thought, oh, I wish I'd known that when I was younger that I might have this. Even before I was diagnosed, I was just watching it, really relating to stuff. And for me, I felt I wanted to get diagnosed just so I could. I mean, now I think I don't. I'd say to people, don't feel like you need to be diagnosed to look after your brain in that way if you think
Totally.
you have got it. Because I think the ultimate goal for me, it's been helping me be kinder to myself
Oh,
rather than be like, oh, Lisa, why are you doing that again? Or how can't
yeah.
believe you forgot that? Or why aren't you just able to do this? Like, why can't you just do this? I'd always just try and push myself. But now I'm like, because my brain works in a little bit of a different way. I might need a bit of more of this and a bit less of this, and just being a little bit kinder to myself. But
Yeah.
I wanted the diagnosis just to know, like, that someone else thought I had it as well, someone like official. but
Yeah. Someone
but
proper.
yeah, someone like with a degree in something. Hopefully, diagnosing ADHD. But I I do look back because I always felt, and I still often feel that I'm different to other people. I think differently to other people. I felt quite lonely in that when I was younger,
Oh,
that, I
yeah.
just feel really different. I always just felt really different. Um, and so I wish I could go back and go, it's just because your mind works a bit differently. And there's real creativity and wonderfulness in that. But there's also going to be, some struggles. Like, one thing with ADHD is that or some people have this, it's called rejection sensitivity dysphoria. So
Yeah.
you really, like, if someone even sort of looks at me funny or doesn't, or texts me and I think, oh no, they're really annoyed with me because, like,
Yeah.
the text doesn't seem as friendly as
Yeah.
normal or something.
Totally.
And it could be literally they're in a rush and they're just texting me, or someone doesn't text me back or something like that. And I
Yeah.
think that's it. I've really annoyed them. I don't know what I've done, and I start thinking back to what I could have done to upset them.
Yeah.
They'll text me in a couple of hours, go, oh, sorry, and it drives me mad. And I used to have that all the time at school, thinking everyone was so upset with me. And that's why, because I was bullied as well, it does make that kind of worse. It made me more sensitive to that kind of thing.
100%.
Um, but now, kind of looking back with that understanding of it, it's interesting, but it's definitely, I'd say to anyone, if you think you have ADHD, if you want to get a diagnosis, obviously great, but if whatever, either way, just treat yourself more kindly
Yeah.
with your lovely brain, and find what works for your brain, and use it as a springboard to sort of for more kind of understanding of yourself, really, and more kindness for yourself.
Totally. It's self-compassion, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
Difficult, but yeah.
on the days where life maybe does feel a bit heavy and you do struggle, how have you got any like tips for people into how you kind of push through that and are still able to produce the amazing content that you do?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's really difficult. I was even having a bit of a struggle this morning, actually, because there's just a part of me that sort of pipes up sometimes to say, you're rubbish, you know, you're not doing good enough. You're not, a lot of imposter syndrome, like, oh, because I went to see a brilliant sketch show last night and I had a great time, but there's this part of me going, oh God, everyone's doing better than you and they're doing this.
Yeah.
So when that pops up, I've tried all sorts to kind of ignoring it, to go, no, arguing with myself. But actually, I've found the best thing to do is just sort of, again, it's that inner kindness, be kind to myself, try and sort of connect with another part of me that doesn't feel like that. If I can sort of distract myself a little bit by going for a nice little walk, or watching something funny, or stroking my dog, or something that will
Yeah.
just move me out of that. And just, yeah, inner kindness is just being kind to that part of yourself, because it's often quite young parts that just are sort of stuck in that vibe of feeling not good enough and everything like that. So, um, and I find if I am just kind to myself, that helps a bit. If I really want to just sort of change my mood, change my energy, blast of some like 90s music,
Oh my God,
garage.
you're my best
Yeah.
friend.
It's the
This is
best. It's
me.
the best, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
best. So gets me out that state, have a little dance around. These are really good tips. And also, by the way, this is not like I do this all the time. Like, I'm so good at getting myself out of these states. I forget to I'm giving this advice now and thinking, oh,
But
that's
you
a good
need to take
idea.
it.
It's a good idea, Elisa. Why didn't you try that the other day? So I don't always do these things. I
Yeah.
often just doom scroll and fester and feel rubbish. But if I can, and also sometimes you do need to do that. You just need to sort of wallow a bit, feel a bit miserable,
Yeah.
go through it, and off we go. Because also we've got to feel our feelings as well. Because I think there's a
Totally.
lot of stuff going, right, that's it, shake yourself out of it. But sometimes you've got to feel whatever we're feeling, and then we can get to the other side. But yeah, if I'm feeling up to it, bit of blast of garage. I do something bonkers, which most people think is insane, including my mum. I have an ice bath, and that is the
Oh,
ultimate. game changer for me, mental health wise. I can feel absolutely awful. And if I can get myself in it, which is difficult, I'm feeling awful. But oh, like within 2 minutes, everything
Wow.
lifts. Yeah, it's really cool.
I think
It's
it's
very
like because
cool.
your body goes into survival mode and
That's
then you
exactly what it
forget
is.
about it.
Your body goes into total shock. So your mind you cannot think about anything because you're in shock because you're so cold.
Oh, that's
But
great.
it does work. It does work. But yeah. So that's my top tips. Be really, really lovely to yourself.
Yeah.
Have a little dance. Do something nice for yourself. And then if all else fails, jump in your cold shower or just get some ice.
Amazing. So you also do bring your own baby comedy, don't you? Like it's such a genius idea. Like how did you get that spark of like inspiration to set that up?
Oh, I love Bring Your Baby comedy. So I co-founded that with a wonderful comedian called Carly Smallman. This was years ago when Lola was one. So this was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
We wanted to work together. I'd just become a new mum. Her sister had really gone through sort of quite a lot of isolation, feeling like Carly's a brilliant artist, so she's always with her nieces, sorry, and she saw her sister just going to these baby groups and not feeling really connected to it and stuff. And so we were like, how can we do comedy together, but also kind of combine that idea? So we thought, let's give it a go. Let's try and do comedy during the day for parents. Again, not knowing if it's going to work, a bit like when you write a new joke. It was just a whole new concept. We just wanted to try it, but it was above a pub in Beckenham. Our first show, we didn't know how it was going to sell, but it sold out within a couple of weeks. We were like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
so exciting. And we put out soft flooring and we booked amazing acts and that's where it started. And it's evolved from there. I've actually left Bring Your Own Baby now to focus on doing my funny mummy stuff,
Okay.
but Carly's still running it and it's all over the country now from our one little show above a pub in Beckenham, and it's just gorgeous, Michelle. The reactions we got that first show, I'll never forget it. Carly and I were in bits. This lady came up to us afterwards and said, during the show, my baby was looking at me funny, and I realized it was the first time my baby had seen me laugh. She'd had a
Oh,
really tough few months,
bless
and she was laughing at the show, and her baby was like, oh, and she was so happy and so
her.
and she just it was just wonderful. And I thought, well, there you go. Like, we're in. Let's do this.
That is so,
I
I mean,
know.
like it's those kind of things, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
really probably push you forward in times as well when you're not feeling great.
totally, totally, absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely. It means so much. And yeah, we were lucky to have, and I'm sure Carly still does have people saying such gorgeous things because
Yeah.
it's just nice to go somewhere with your baby where you're not singing nursery rhymes. I mean, I remember going to some of those and they're great, but I remember going to them and sometimes Lola would fall asleep and I'd just be there singing
Yeah.
nursery rhymes by myself, like an
Hmm.
idiot, thinking, what am I doing here? But they are lovely, but you sometimes want stuff that to go to something that's actually for you as well, but you
Definitely.
have to bring your baby because they're so little.
Hmm.
I'm really proud of what we created there. It's really really fun and a
Oh,
bit naughty, and like you can go
yeah.
and just listen to proper grown up comedy, and yeah, it's fun.
Definitely. I don't know about you, but when I used to go to baby groups, I don't know whether it was the area that I lived in or whatever, but all the mums could sing like the nursery rhymes. Like me, I am completely tone deaf. So I got to the point where I was just like lit doing the
Oh
doing the
my
miming of
God.
the words.
I've never, I mean, there's so much pressure on mums, and now you have to be able to sing. I
Yeah.
mean, what?
They
It's
they were all
like,
like, three blind skies. And I was like,
oh,
I'm
you
just
feeling like you literally had no voice in those.
no.
Because what? Like they're there doing harmonies and poor you, you're
Yes,
having to mime. That's hilarious. I'd never heard
honestly.
that. That's so funny.
And like I was really struggling once because I was a really young mum and everybody
Yeah.
else was a little bit older than me and like they used to make like they were real bitches. They used to make like these really snide comments like, "Oh my God, did you see that program on BBC Three about the teenage parents and what the hell are they doing?" And then all look at me. So like,
Never. Oh,
yeah,
darling, that's awful, you poor
I
thing.
ended up leaving, crying all the way
Oh,
home, and just never
darling.
went again.
Well, I'm not surprised. How dare they? I wish I'd been there. I would have been your friend and we would have told them to
Oh,
fuck off. Oh my goodness. I mean, goodness me. Like, why? Just people that judge like that, they feel better by putting someone else down and feeling better about their own lives, which I'm sure are carnage behind the scenes.
yes,
But
100.
they're trying to give that illusion of the control and, you know, very sadly making themselves feel better about their lives by judging someone else's. How sad. How
Yeah.
sad. And there you there doing your best with your gorgeous baby and being so brave at that age to go into a baby group in the first place because it's scary. It's
Yeah,
scary when you're older. I mean, I found them quite intimidating going there by myself.
definitely. Yeah.
So to do that at 18, honestly, hats off to you.
Oh, thanks. I think everyone's always seems like when you walk into somewhere new, it can feel like you say really intimidating because it looks like everybody has already made their groups of
Yes,
friends too,
definitely.
and it's hard.
Absolutely. Really hard. I talk about this in my show actually, that it felt like I was going out on the pool and like I'd go in to a baby group and I'd find someone on their own. Like I could never go over to like a pack of mums. I'd be too, and I'd sort of give them the eye and I'd be like to this mum, like, oh, like, roll my eyes, like, oh God, or been up all night, any sleep, and just really like give it my best mum chat up line to try and
And then
make
she just walks off, and then you just left there on the
rejected, ghosted.
bless. So, why do you think that like comedy is so kind of instrumental and vital for new parents?
Oh, it's just so great. To comedy is brilliant generally, I think. It just makes you forget about your troubles for a bit
Yeah.
and have a laugh. So anytime you go to a comedy night, I think it's just the best thing. I'm doing one soon, actually. I've started a new thing called Mum's Night Out Comedy, and I'm so excited about it because it's just going to be mums out, just having a giggle, and you just sometimes need to just be lifted out of your
Day to
reality for a
day.
bit, your day to day, exactly. And so for new parents, especially, it's scary. Like we were talking about, it's scary generally with the baby, but meeting new friends, going to baby group, you're in this whole new life. So if you can actually, especially with bring your own baby comedy shows, go somewhere where there's other parents and other parents that are up for a laugh. You meet some really fun parents at those
Yeah.
shows. Because that's what we tell. Me and Carly and I always say, like, mingle, like make friends. You guys are the fun ones.
Yeah.
And you can have a laugh about parenting, but also the bring your own baby shows. Carly always books one act that isn't a parent as well, because you want
Okay.
to not just have a laugh about and not just also talk about baby stuff because you're in
Of
baby
course.
land all the time. You want
Yeah.
a whole mixture of stuff, and so and I think comedy it connects us and also just makes us feel a bit better about stuff because it's like, oh, it's not just me. And
Definitely.
things can feel really serious, especially when you've got a new baby. Everything feels really serious, very high pressure because you're trying to keep this tiny little person alive.
I know, but it's
So
so much pressure, isn't
so
it?
much pressure, and you have no idea what you're doing. I remember when we brought Lola home from the hospital, I was obsessed with checking her breathing.
Yes.
Like when she was in the little, what's it called? The little
Moses
basket,
basket.
Moses basket. Thank you. At the end of the bed, and I kept going down to the end to check her breathing. And my husband was like, "You've got to stop. You've got to go to sleep." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever." And then when he'd go to the loo, I'd just roll down there and check
Oh,
again because it was like, oh my God, it's just so much pressure. So it's all very serious. It's all very high pressure. So if we can laugh about the moments
yeah,
that we can laugh about and lift a bit out of that seriousness and pressure, then that's really good.
definitely.
We really need it.
Like with you were saying about the check-in and stuff, if the room was dark as well, like and because you were so tired, you'd look and you'd think, is their chest
Yes.
rising? Have my eyes?
Yes.
And then you put your hand on and then put your hand
Yes.
under their nose
To see.
it's
Yeah,
mad.
exactly. A friend of mine dropped her phone on her child because she was checking that they were breathing. She was like, shit, I've made it worse. Like, but I saw this one top tip, but I never tried it actually, but was to put a Malteser on their chest to see if it rose and then
Wow.
fell off, and then you got a little snack as
Great.
well.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. Oh, I love that so much. So you've been nominated for Best Supporting Actress. which is incredible. Congratulations.
Thank
Um,
you very much.
oh, well, thank you.
Oh,
How does your acting feed your comedy and your comedy feed your acting, would you say?
well, I think I don't do as much acting as I do comedy. I'd love to, but
Mhm.
acting, it's all down to someone else casting you. So it's like
Yeah,
it's sort of a really. That's why I actually started doing comedy in the first place because,
yeah,
as wonderful as acting is, and I love it when I get the jobs, you're kind of in someone else's hands really with the whoever whatever they want for the part. It's up to them. But comedy, you can create your own stuff. So
yeah.
I've always done that as alongside, and I think it keeps me really quick on my feet. It
Yeah.
keeps my I sort of can be quite in the moment because I'm thinking, I'm reacting to things to the audience and stuff, which definitely helps with my acting. um the only thing it does, because I do so much comedy, I got quite a serious audition the other day when I had to be really serious, and I
Okay.
was like, oh, it's been a while, and I had to calm myself down and try not to like find the funny in
Yeah.
every sentence. So that's something I have to watch sometimes. But I think it's all performing. It helps my confidence, and it means that I keep kind of being on stage and keeping that kind of that muscle going while in between the acting jobs. So yeah, I think it all feeds in to each other really.
Definitely. What's like the dream role for you, acting wise?
Oh, I'd love to be in a sitcom. I think that would just
Okay.
be a dream, a sort of a sitcom. I mean, like Motherland or something like that, with a
Yeah.
fab character that kind of goes on a journey through the series, and I get to be funny, but also, maybe a bit of drama as well. But I think my real ultimate dream would be to have my own sketch show on TV. That would be the
Wow.
coolest thing ever, where I just play a
Yeah.
million different characters. I think I was saying to someone last night, actually, I'd love to do a sitcom where I played all the characters. They were like, that
Mhm.
I don't think that's the thing.
No, it
Maybe
is.
there's a sketch
Catherine
show.
Tate.
Well, exactly. A Catherine Tate style sketch show would be the dream. Be
Well, what?
amazing.
Like, I'm quite one for saying why not. So
Yeah,
why
too
don't you
right.
just write your own and pick
Yeah,
it?
exactly. I think that's a brilliant idea. And I think I've been thinking that lately, that I need to just do that because, again, why wait for someone to
Exactly.
cast you? Got to just do stuff yourself, haven't you? So
Yeah, 100%.
watch this space, guys.
Definitely. I'll help you. We
Oh
can do it
yay.
together.
Our
I'll
double
keep you
act. Get our double
accountable.
act out again. Yeah, but yeah, sorry, yeah. Keep me accountable. That's good as well.
Or a double act, I don't mind, whichever. Um, so is there a particular particular role or a project that has changed you as a person, would you say, or a performer?
I think doing this comedy as me has been the thing that's changed me the most. It's really, really helped my confidence.
Oh,
It's enabled me to start doing things on Instagram, which I never thought I would do. When I was doing the character comedy, it was very kind of, I do acting and I do characters,
okay.
but doing comedy about motherhood has really unlocked, I think, I'm going to sound really like cheesy, but like my true purpose, I think, in
Oh,
life,
that's
which
so
is
nice.
to help people feel better, to help people feel like it's not just them, to lift people's spirits and give them a laugh. And I just love it. And it's my favorite thing to do. So whether that's live or, on online or whatever. So I think that has really changed me. And I never thought that would happen. And it's funny, isn't it? Because before you have a baby, you just think, oh my God, that's it, my career's over.
Yeah.
And I really thought that. I was so worried about that. I was so terrified about that. But it's actually ended up being the making of me, really.
Yeah,
Really
totally.
hard to juggle it all and navigate, but having that, being a mum, and then being able to connect with other mums has been the thing that I love the most. So who knew? Who
Um,
knew?
it's almost like you found your true self in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. And find the confidence to show my true self as well. Like, even with the ADHD and then, mental health stuff, I never used to talk about that stuff. I'd
Yeah.
always be like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. But it's just giving me that confidence to be able to be more honest about who I am. So yeah,
And
yeah,
you can be like to those girls that bullied me at school, look at me now, bitches.
exactly. Yeah. You
Bless
said that really sassy, look at me now, bitches, and I just like did a raspberry. So it's like, oh my five.
Um, do you have any examples of like any ridiculous mum fails from over the years? Maybe the ones that were not quite so hilarious at the time, but ones that you can definitely laugh about now.
Mm. Yes.
How long
So,
you got? She
yeah,
says.
exactly. I mean, part two podcast coming. Elisa starts banging on about all her fails for the next hour. Um, I mean, yes. So, I mean, I was quite a big mum fail right at the beginning of Lola's life was when I was, and I don't, yeah, I'm not sure this is funny now, but here you go. Um, I've started it now, so I've got to carry on. Don't judge me. We were in the hospital because we were there for like a couple of weeks because of Lola with the jaundice, and I wasn't able to breastfeed. She was in this little incubator thing being
Oh,
fed through her belly. It was all very sad. So I was very sad, and I had the big hormone dump. I think it was like day 5 or something. And Will, my husband, came in with a Chinese takeaway for me and a bottle of wine.
oh,
So I had a glass of wine and this Chinese. And then at that moment, the breastfeeding expert lady popped in. I said, right, so we're going to try latching on now. And I was there with a glass of wine. And I never felt more mum faily in my life. She was like, oh. I was like, well, I didn't realise we were doing the breastfeeding thing today, and I was having a really bad day. My husband's brought in this, and he'd gone by that point, so it was just me on my own with this glass
oh,
of wine.
that's
Also,
worse.
there was a bottle. I mean, it was like he brought in a bottle. Not, I hadn't had the whole bottle, but it looked like I was sort of
Yeah.
ploughing my way through it in the hospital next to my baby, when she was going to try and get me to breastfeed. So I couldn't breastfeed.
Not
I
today, love.
I was like, not today, exactly. Come back later. So I felt really like, yeah, this is not. I'm sure she was
Oh.
talking about me in the staff room. She's got a bottle of
But
wine,
was
man.
the wine nice? Is the
It's
most
lovely. It was a Malbec, and I had a lovely Chinese, and I really needed it. And then I had a little sleep, and then I tried again,
ah,
and it's,
see,
yeah.
all worked out in the end. If you could go back and give your younger self a piece of like life advice, what would you tell her?
I would tell her there's nothing wrong with you because I used to always think that, and I still do sometimes. There's nothing wrong with you. You're great the way you are. Um, don't listen to anyone who tells you there's anything wrong with you.
Yeah.
Um, Try not to fit in so much because the lovely thing is not fitting in actually and being who you really are.
Yeah.
Because there is no normal, there is no perfect, and just be yourself, I would
Oh,
say. Yeah.
bless you. Well, a little birdie tells me that you have got something really exciting on the horizon. Can you tell me all about it?
Oh, I'm so excited, Michelle. So
Oh,
I am launching a podcast. It's called Cringe and Tell.
okay.
So it's inspired, Michelle, by the fact that I embarrass myself on a daily basis. I always do stupid things all the time. And this is a podcast celebrating embarrassing ourselves, cringy moments in all different areas. So I've got a fashion expert coming on who's going to be talking about fashion cringe and fail. I've
Yeah.
got, obviously, parenting cringe moments
Yeah.
where the ways we've embarrassed our children and they've embarrassed us, and just generally ones, in life. I have got fabulous guests coming on, and I'd love you to come on soon as well, Michelle, if you'd
I'll be
like to.
straight there. Yes, please.
Yeah. But I have got guests. But when I told my sister I was doing this podcast, she went, Sis, you don't need any guests. Like, because I've got so many stories about how I've absolutely mortified myself. But what I really want to do with it is shake off the cringe and the
Yeah.
embarrassment. Because, like I said, there is no perfect, and we're all winging it and we all fall flat on our face. So it's a real kind of antidote to perfection and a celebration of all things cringe and, of us just falling flat on our face and laughing at ourselves.
Yeah.
As I told you before, I love laughing at myself. So it's a perfect podcast for me to do. So it's coming out at some point in December. So please
Exciting.
watch out for that because I'm really excited.
Oh, I can't wait. It's definitely going to be on my playlist for sure. I'm
Oh,
so
thank
excited.
you.
So where can people find you?
Well, I'm on Instagram all the time. I'm obsessed with it. So and Facebook as well. So at the Funny Mummy UK, and it's the same on TikTok actually. So all social media, and on there I'll post about live shows and obviously my podcast and everything. So you can find everything there. But I do have a website which is alyssakyria.com as well. So if you can find me on there.
Brilliant. I'll pop everything in the show notes
Oh,
as well.
thanks.
Oh, honestly, it's been so amazing. I'm so gutted to like say that we're out of time.
Oh,
But
me
I know that you've got
too.
to nip off. It's been incredible. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I've had the best time. Thank you so much for having me. I've absolutely loved it.
Oh, it's been great. Thank you.